Hello everyone, welcome back to the Challenger booth. We're just about to get into our rematch game 2 between APX and Team Dragon Knights, and now APX are this game away. This win secures them in the Challenger playoffs. They're still right now the #1 team. We'll see if they can keep that going here, and things look good for them.
Yeah, things look really good for APX. Of course, TDK and APX, that was a really, really long game there, and I think that one person I want to call out on TDK here is Ty. Because Ty had multiple times that he could make a play with the package. You can isolate people, you can split a team, you can even just go for a backline and then jump out with Valk. But they focused him down in that one team fight in the mid game, and then later on he was just pretty much a non-issue. You're a Corki with a lot of poke. They didn't seem to try and leverage that. They didn't leverage the Trinity Force power spikes. And so TDK kind of fell by the wayside, and they became a victim of time at that point.
Yeah, they did. And meanwhile, Chris, of course, on the side of APX, played time really well. Sat there and took a weak early game matchup. I think early on, Quinn can bully you around. Of course, they lane swapped until they all had like 3,000 golds. That made it a little bit easier, but just sat there and played the split push game. And yeah, he lost in minions a little bit, but it didn't really matter. He eventually got too big to kill.
Yeah, and I really want to give Chris props for this as well, because he's always struck me as a player that's not very patient, right? Somebody who wants to be aggressive in lane. They put him on a tank, and he was able to deliver and actually ultimate the right target in 2 fights that they had.
Sure.
So I think that Chris deserves big props for that, because it didn't get to the point where he seemed frustrated at the position. He seemed rather calm, and then they got to the point where he was just this gigantic tank. And I mean, it's usually not fun to scale up. Usually you want to just
I like fighting.
Fight the person over and over again. But I mean, in that game, they were able to keep it in check and not get frustrated and not get impatient, and instead just play the game of playing the clock, getting to the point where he has Thornmail and all these other armor items, and then eventually fight. And there was pretty much no way TDK would come out on top in that fight.
Yep, totally agree. So, good job by Apex to assess the game properly, playing it safe, cast and scaled up, multiple threats, a lot of burst damage to knock down the squishies, and that went just fine. We'll see if TDK can shape up the strategy a bit later in this next game, which will be coming up in about 40 seconds probably till we get ourselves into champion select. And I do think we'll see TDK play a different composition. I don't think they're going to run triple marksman with only one engaged tool again, because it was so easy to dismantle.
Yeah, I think that the Quinn is something you only run red side counter pick to like a Gangplank or a Fiora that you leave up.
Or at least a team that picks their top laner early, right?
Yeah.
If you can find a matchup that works
just
for it, you
counter
go
pick
into it.
Yeah. Counter pick, make sure that it is somebody who's going to be in that lane. Don't like flex it or something like that, or somebody
Lulu must be top lane.
Like, oh, gotta go. So yeah, that I think that she's a situational pick. She's not universal like people would once thought she was. She has good matchups, but she needs jungle attention. She does have some good gank assistance, because the blind is actually, if you can land it as the jungler's coming in, then it's pretty much a free gank. The person doesn't know when to flash or when to get out on time. So I think that she's a very strong pick in the right situation.
Absolutely agree right here, and I'm kind of glad we're seeing hyper tanks back in the top lane, because it allows you to flex around in these various matchups, and you can win the ones you're supposed to, lose the ones that can beat up on it. We get ourselves into picks and bans. LeBlanc, Fiora, Lulu, all off the table. Ty not allowed to play those 2 champions he was so successful on last week, and well, no Fiora for Seraph, because Seraph, Nidalee, Kalista, Gangplank all gone. So TDK had first picked Nidalee and then banned it away on red side here, but that still gives that Lucian over to Police, who's going to feel real good about that.
Yeah, he had a really good game on that before. Wouldn't be surprised if they pair it up with a Braum again, if they're able to get their hands on it.
Sure.
TDK can't take that away for Bishu. He has been favoring those tanks more often than not. The Alistar seems to be something he goes after as well as the Braum. So he actually hasn't played anything except for those 2 champions on Bishu's side. So.
Well, yeah, I think we expect to see something fairly defensive, and well, plenty of time to go for TDK to make their next few choices here. And of course, Lucian doesn't really display anything, and I don't really have a great handle on what's the super sought-after picks in 6.3. I really thought we'd see a ton of Kog'Maw right here, but so far these teams don't seem to care about it just yet.
So the only thing that changed is actually the Nidalee ban for TDK over the Zed ban that they had previously. So they didn't want Keen to have red side counter pick Zed.
Because they wanted to play the triple marksman comp.
Which is something that actually got banned against Apex in the Dream Team game. The one game that they lost had a Zed ban against them. So there's something up here with Keen Zed. He seems to counterpick it into Corki and stuff like that. So if you first pick the Corki, you can be in trouble if you didn't ban out Zed on blue side.
Yeah, and that's always fun when you see picks and bans like that, where there's like that one awkward ban, but it's because it's a counterpick to the strat you want to run. Little did they know Nautilus was good enough for that as well. Caitlyn comes through here, so this is good. TDK will have a high DPS, high uptime backliner here. And what I'm happy about is a lot of Caitlyn players have realized that Hurricane is a great item on her, so I've actually been seeing a lot of
just a
Hurricane
Hurricane
as the
fan.
second. I'm a huge fan of Hurricane. I think it's super, super strong. But Hurricane is a second Zeal item on Caitlyn after a rapid fire cannon. Super high damage, really, really strong build alongside an Elise here for Kez. So some early game pressure. He's got to make some plays in that champion, and then also a great insurance policy in that Caitlyn.
Yeah, I love Caitlyn. I think that the traps and laying them out defensively and offensively and just watching the trap lines is so oppressive.
Oh, it's super oppressive.
And it's also really good in a defensive manner too, because even if you're behind, you can still get that like 600, 700 damage headshot crit onto somebody, and it's really devastating. And you're talking about the Runans. So a great thing about Runans is when everybody's running Fervor of Battle now, the bolts stack it faster, and the bolts apply fervor damage.
Yeah.
So when you are like max level and you're getting it off, you're actually getting about 300 damage worth of fervor before resistances. So you're actually getting a decent amount of damage off of that mastery every attack.
To press you on something, actually, are you sure that fervor does trigger on hit? Because I know Rageblade does not stack 3 times as fast. It actually requires 8 attacks even with Hurricane.
I know it stacks faster.
I have not tracked fervor, so I'm not saying you're wrong. I just actually don't know because I know Rageblade works the other way.
I'll double check it, but that's the way that I understand it, is that they actually apply on the fervor bolts.
Okay, so if you can hit multiple champions, they'll stack really, really fast. Either way, it's going to be pretty good. We expect to see fervor on basically every marksman that's not Corki. Gnar comes through as a top lane pickup for Seraph, so no marksman for him. Also, the Janna picked up here for Bishu. So, again, more backline safety. OQ seems to be the player that everyone's trying to play around right here in this one. Apex have actually shown their top laner and now also have to show their mid laner. So Apex getting both solo lanes counterpicked. I don't know why they didn't just grab a jungler earlier on. Apex, they already saw the Elise picked up. There was no rush there. I suppose they really didn't want to let Seraph play Nautilus, but that's just kind of strange. So now Seraph got to counterpick that one. Now they have to blind pick their mid laner as well. It just feels like a really weird draft for Apex.
Yeah, Apex, because you showed the Braum and then you showed the Nautilus, they know that's a Nautilus top. They picked the Gnar into it here, so favorable matchup doing the percent HP.
Yeah.
And now it becomes a harder resistance stacking thing to do because it's magic damage and then you have the physical.
And he's a natural Black Cleaver build.
And he's going to build the Black Cleaver, so he's going to help his team out in that regard. So right now, TDK, they do have it's a team fighty, disengaged, protect OQ composition here. So they actually have a really good brawling. This is something that we would have seen last year, is just a full rounded comp.
Yeah, this is interesting though because Apex's tanks aren't great. Elise is just not very tanky. Double marksman comp here for Apex. Triple tank, double marksman is actually a fairly standard sort of low mobility, well-rounded, but just sort of average in a lot of situations composition. Meanwhile, yeah, we're seeing the Zed hover right now for Team Dragon Knights, for Ty. And he's got his pick of 2 different marksmen to go after here in this one. Both are fine buying a QSS. And of course, we're also on 6.3, so we'll see if Duskblade also is picked up here in the itemization choices. Be interesting to watch for here. TDK will let time run out, and it will be Zed picked up here for Ty. So, physical damage focused team from TDK, only Elise dealing magic. Meanwhile, Apex, of course, have Corki in the mid lane, 3 tanks, 2 marksmen.
So, if Ty ends up not starting fights, split pushing, or actually killing somebody in this game, it's going to be a very weird game, even more strange than the one we had just seen.
Right.
So this game, you're looking for some assassination on these double AD carries. They don't have anybody who's going to disengage like a Janna, nobody to shield them like a Lulu, and so these are actually quite vulnerable AD carries.
Yes.
You're going to be relying on Shrimp for a knockup, Chris for some type of peel, and then you're relying on a Braum as well.
So thanks to Braum, and especially has been sharp so far, you can guarantee, like, you have to make him flash. You can guarantee to land a Braum ult off of a Zed ulti because there's a lockout where they can re-trigger it to teleport away. So theoretically, you can CC chain the Zed. If it happens, then, good for Apex to be on the ball with that one. We'll see if it happens. Either way, though, Zed against Double Marksman, gonna be fun to watch for. TDK banned it out in Game 1, then picked it for themselves here in Game 2. The red side Zed against the very common Double Marksman compositions makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think that it's a up-and-coming pick. It had that adjustment, though, to the damage, of course. There was a little bit of the damage taken off of the ultimate because Duskblade is so good. But also, I haven't been seeing too much Duskblade in my games. I've been seeing it on, like, Dravens who want to snowball, and sometimes I see it on Zeds who want to just pop people and then actually split push.
I see it some.
So, I see it a little bit, yeah.
I see it about as often as I see champions like Zed in my game, so I think it's getting bought pretty frequently. We'll see if it's good.
Yeah. I think one of my favorite things about it, though, is it's another flat armor pen item.
Yep.
So you buy Ma, you buy Youmu's, and you buy that, and you have 40 flat armor pen from items.
Super strong. We'll see how well this game goes. You guys at home, of course, are part of this game. Tweet at Esports with hashtag APX winner, hashtag TDK win. Apex are one game away from securing a spot in the Spring Challenger Series playoffs here. TDK, unfortunately, did lose game 1, but they can start climbing back up the standings as well with the game here. We'll see if they can do it.
Yep.
TDK, I really like their composition. It's super well-rounded. I said the tank line is kind of weak, but Gnar can help with that a little bit, and just Caitlyn, I think, is very, very strong against 3 tank teams. You get that late Hurricane, and you can really break things out.
Yeah, also it's against Illusion, so he's able to harass in lane a little bit. You're going to have the Janna Caitlyn, which is such an annoying lane to play against.
It's very difficult to battle against. Thankfully, Braum can block some of the damage. Special can break the Piltover Peacemakers, can tank the ultis, but yeah, not the easiest thing to be a part of. Bishu will not be allowed to harass much, though, because Lucian Braum can just go on the support. It's one of the very few lanes where you can actually fight the support, and it's not wrong, because Braum can block all the damage. Let's go. So, as we spread the teams about, we have OQ just chilling in the top lane right here inside the brush. Police recalled and is walking back out of the top lane as well, so we will have equal lanes.
This is actually very clever, because what happened was TDK, bot side of the map, they showed Bishu there, but they actually put OQ in the top side. So they put him in the top side bush, they showed Seraph up there, so you don't know it's a lane swap, but now they revealed themselves. I think they walked out of that bush for a second.
Into the ward. Yeah, they're going to walk right by River Ward, actually, up here, expecting to stop a Gromp start, and in fact they will. It was going to be Lucian and Braum's Gromp start, but now they're going to hug right across the wall, and nice play. Wow, really nice adaptation there. TDK understanding the scariness of what Lucian Braum can do and actually trinket warding over the wall to not face check in. So really just really good play on both sides, actually, both making very smart choices.
That was set up so well from TDK. And I actually think that that's a something that if you go back and watch this replay, you're going to see Bishu shows bot, they ping, okay, Janna's bot side. Seraph shows top, okay, he's going to be top side. And OQ was in the top bush the entire time.
Yep.
So
very,
very
level
clever.
1. Both teams playing very clever so far. Shrimp got a minor leash from Chris, clearing the red buff away now. We'll see if he goes for Raptors or the top side of the map. Keen right now is pushing in. Sadly, Gatling gun does not last to either of the casters. And Ty, losing some HP, will miss out a fair bit of CS. Of course, it's very easy to punish last hitting a caster minion under your opponent's turret with Fossil Bomb and auto attacks.
Yep. Yeah, TDK getting the non-lane swap is very important, because they have the Gnar that beats the Nautilus, and then they have the Caitlyn Janna, which goes very well against the Lucian Braum. So TDK definitely wanted this lane swap, whereas Apex, TDK wanted matched lanes, whereas Apex really wanted a lane swap here. They wanted to avoid both of these matchups.
Well, they're going to find a matchup, a 2v1 down here after all, because Shrimp's going over the wall and wants to do some damage onto Seraph. Easy knock up there. Red buff is on, forcing the flash. They still might have the damage. One more hit will do it, and that's first blood to Shrimp.
Yep. Nice route there from Shrimp with the Rek'Sai. This is why he was banned away from him a whole bunch last year. It's definitely his favorite champion, and he's able to make plays like that on it. Auto attack. When the Gnar jumps on you, you're going to get up, and you're going to actually knock him up and stop his leap. Can't really be used as a target there.
Wonderful stuff right here. TDK, they're going to do the best to make good out of a bad situation. Kez counter juggles the blue buff away, so that's nice. 3 buffs for TDK, thanks to Kez's play, but of course, first blood, you'd rather have that than a buff. Shrimp killing away Trinket Ward in his jungle, and continuing to kill off wolves and everything else. 600 gold lead for Apex. The 2v2 lane up top is actually going pretty close to equal, 22 to 25 in CS. Can't be too sad if you're police here.
This might be the difference, too. Because we were talking about how Kez is kind of a reserved shot caller, when you're in the 2-on-2 and the 1-on-1 standard lanes, is Shrimp going to affect these lanes more than Kez will? And now that he has Swifty boots, it's very easy for him to affect these lanes and get some ganks off.
What an aggressive build path. Yeah, rushing Swiftness boots here with just the Hunter's Machete, basically.
You can see the stylistic difference, too, because Kez went for more vision to try and contain Shrimp by getting the Tracker's Knife.
We'll see if that's successful at all. Of course, bot lane, Apex have pushed, sorry, the dual lane has been actually pushed out, so there's no easy gank path anymore for this Rek'Sai. They will not look to fight OQ or Bishu. Nice try by Police. Still takes damage from OQ. E into auto attack. And there we go. Special will block some of the damage as Evolution needs to last hit these minions here.
Apex pushed pretty far up, and they're constantly auto attacking. I think
they have to push it the rest of the way now before at least can show. Yeah. Once you realize it is pushing, try to get it to push before the jungler shows up. Depending on how on the ball the jungler is.
Whoa.
Yeah, misplay there by OQ. Didn't need to hit that minion at all. Regardless of whether Bishu hit it or not, that was a misplay by OQ.
Yeah, or shielded him. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fine. Now they're building a freeze. You can actually just lane swap this if you want, if you're Apex, but I think that Apex might be realizing that.
That would really hurt Chris. At this stage, Seraph can 1v2 reasonably well. Braum Lucian can't exactly punish that. That's too short range, but you can completely screw over Chris. So I think now Apex can't lane swap.
Yeah.
Cole double longsword picked up for Police on his way back into the lane.
Cole double longsword, and they actually keep it special in the lane. And now OQ backs, realizing, well, I have to match items. So
and he's got BF, so he backed well enough. OQ got a lot of minion kills, honestly. Managed the minions quite well and can feel happy. Currently a 10 minion lead in the mid lane that will be answered by Ty shortly.
Nice little thing here is Keen. Hit 6. He knows that Ty's going to hit 6. Immediately back, get an HP item so that you can't be all in by the Zen.
Ooh, good dodge on the cocoon by Chris. There would have been a lot of damage because Seraph would have transformed Mega Gnar and gotten the stun.
Yep.
A little swag taunt spam by Chris, and he's fine. TP in the top lane, though. Looks like a 4-man dive is in the works here. Seraph does not have teleport, so no one can join this. Now, can Apex push the wave in enough?
And the backside.
The thing is, it's BF's sword. Caitlyn, she pushes so fast. Here comes the play in. Jumps in, lets the root onto Bishu, who doesn't flash in time. Goes down. Another successful gank from Shrimp.
Yep, and this looks like he's going back in for more. OQ's in trouble.
OQ. Oh, goodbye. Shrimp 2-0-1. Beautiful stuff here by Apex, cracking open the duo lane.
And Shrimp, he wasn't the person that we've been seeing on this roster. We've been seeing Eve, the former Samsung jungler, every week, and this is the first time we're seeing Shrimp. And when we talked to the owners, the coaches were saying that they're both really, really good players. So we're going to rotate them in and out. We think that they're very skilled. We think that they both can deliver on this roster. And you're seeing with these routes that Shrimp is setting up, and Chris alongside him. And Chris, known for aggressive champions, but man, the Nautilus is working out for him too.
Bishu just failing to flash hook was a really huge problem there. Flashing late, definitely not okay. Willing to run the summoner, but didn't dodge the skill shot that got him killed. And honestly, some really good mechanics. You saw Lucian dash forward, so Special could dash to him to get into range of things. Chris just landing a good anchor toss from the side.
And that was good by Apex in a macro sense too, because they knew Seraph's TP was down from when he got killed previously. He had to TP to catch the wave.
And they saw Kez bot, he just ganked it.
And that's something that, as a jungler, I love to do, is play through my top lane. You go top, you kill the enemy top laner, and it actually trickles down into your bot lane. Because you make the enemy top laner make the decision of, do I miss this entire wave, or do I TP back to stay even in a one-on-one? Most of the time, they'll actually TP back, and then you have TP advantage, and you just make a play on the opposite side of the map, and they can't match it. So it was very well played there by Apex. It was actually kind of textbook in the way that you execute the entire macro play.
Good stuff here. Apex continuing to feel real good about this now. Seraph in a trade against Chris. Grasping the Undying, of course, nice to keep Chris's health bar up. And we look at how this has sort of trickled down throughout the map. It's a 1800 gold lead for Apex here. I didn't go for the Q. Might have actually stolen that away from Kez. He saw movement, but didn't want to reveal that he was on that side of the map. So just takes the Scuttle Crab, walks away. Policing Special, both level 6 here. They've got ultis, but without flashes, they won't do... They don't have that many ways of getting into the fight. But there's a nice anchor onto Seraph. The knockup chain going through. Seraph flashes downwards. He's got Kez right below him, but how much damage can they really deal? Looks like it is enough to force Apex to run away. Zed was coming first, actually. Ty got in the river before Keen could, and because of that, Apex forced to run away in a fight they could have won.
Yeah, it looked like Seraph had actually used his leap, and it got interrupted, and he was also right out of Mega Gnar, so he wasn't stacking up any rage at all either. Little surprised that they backed off, but Ty was a big enough threat.
Yeah. Hexdrinker Zed, no one's got any major armor items just yet until just now when Chris recalls against his chain vest, so they were afraid of that one. Keen will be giving away the blue buff by Shrimp, who is on the correct side of the map. They just walk right over to the blue. No problems, no questions asked.
Yeah, now with these advantages, a lot of these bad lane matchups are actually equalized and in favor of Apex.
Yeah.
It's amazing what gold can do for you.
That's true. It's weird, when you have more stats than someone, you can fight them.
Yeah, then their kit sometimes doesn't mean as much.
Well, Ty versus Keen in the mid lane, Hexdrinker versus Phage, and At this point, I feel like Keen has to be very respectful of Ty's damage output.
Yeah.
If you ever take 1 or 2 spells from the Shadow Clone, he can all-in you afterwards, and life gets real hard. Thankfully for Keen, he's able to get rid of most of the wave without losing much of the CS. 90 to 79 in minion kills there. And Shrimp continues to dominate the map as best that he can.
Oh, collapsing on him. Oh, he didn't finish it off. He smited it too.
Does the math wrong. Sorry, Shrimp. Not going to get that one for himself. And Kez can feel good. Xpecial still looking for a way into this fight. But keep in mind, Bishu and OQ are both now level 6. So much harder to kill them in this bot lane. And in fact, there's actually more stats on the TDK bot lane here. Because BF Sword is very good. And it is chilling. Okay. 1700 gold lead thanks to all the ganks. Apex otherwise holding close to equal, and I want to see what Shrimp can do next. But he did burn his flash in that top lane scuffle a little while back, so he doesn't have that to tilt the other lanes.
Yeah. Keen now has the package picked up. See what type of playmaker he is on this Corki, as opposed to what Ty was doing last game, which was not really utilizing the package at all, or even taking risks with it. Because the package can also be a very safe play.
Yeah.
It gives you so much distance.
And they're doing it right now. They're looking for the bot lane. Keen kills away a pink ward, says, you know what? No, they know we're coming. Look how far back Bishu and OQ had to play. The threat of Corki being there, saying, I have the package, I'm willing to use it, makes TDK lose a wave of minions, lose bot lane outer turret. Good job, Apex.
Yeah, and Kez is on the top side of the map, and they knew that with that ward that he just cleared. So it easily became a numbers game where, at worst, TDK are fighting a 4-on-3, or a 3-on-4.
Yeah.
And they don't want to take that, so they back all the way off.
Keen running out of package time, and will not get a roam going anywhere, but Kez did not make anything happen top lane. Keen willing to roam down bot lane, the jungler in the bot lane. Kez and Ty chilling mid, kill a couple of wards. Nothing else really happens here. TDK still a little bit paralyzed in this early game, not getting a lot done here. Shrimp soloing the dragon, no questions asked, no problems at all. Nearly a 3,000 gold lead with the +1 dragon, +1 turret. Chris, nice anchor toss onto Seraph. Decent damage dealt here as well. Meganar is going to be around, and if Seraph goes in, Xpecial is right there to kill him off.
Yep,
but
and they also put police up into this top lane too. So now, just going after turrets here for Apex.
The question is, can Apex keep bottom lane turret alive? So many times you'll win in your dual lane, you'll knock the outer turret down, and you'll swap. But TDK can just literally attack that same outer turret in the bot lane, and if Apex don't defend that, it's just a trade of equal resources. And trading equally when you're ahead feels a little bit wasteful, but they will allow that to be a trade, it looks like.
Yeah, I think they might keep pushing too. I think
they will.
Because they have the speed to do so. Clears out the entire wave with the culling.
Okay.
And there they go.
They've got 3 to 4 people here. OQ is actually very slowly killing this turret, so it really depends on how fast Apex can do all of this. And that answer is pretty fast. They've got to wait quite some time for the next wave, though. It's 12 seconds away. Tanking this turret is a bit risky. Backdoor bonus turns on right now, but they get the turret anyway. Just barely. Bot lane outer will die, but it is a 2-for-1 in turret because of how much faster they were able to push. They have brought everyone in, and it grows the gold lead. Well played to Apex.
Even if you stop backs, it's going to take so long, and this is most likely the Rift Herald as well, going over to Apex. So Apex are getting these small advantages and adding them up. The extra turret over them, Rift Herald, these 3 kills, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And I think that a lot of this game is the difference between the junglers. I think Shrimp is playing the standard lanes way better than Kez is. His control has been really good. He knows where to be on the map. And he also went Warrior this game too, so he adapted his build based on how far ahead he was.
He said, I have all the gold. I'm going to go make these lanes snowball really fast. I want to crush this game. And so far, he's doing just that. Hasn't gotten any kills since the Warrior, I believe. I don't remember when he bought all the components for that double kill up top lane, but
I'll be honest, after I saw Shrimp in the LCS, I know I hadn't seen any Lee Sin from him either. He played that one game, and he really was underwhelming.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, is this guy going to be the same this year? And of course, you know, small sample size.
Yeah.
Shrimp is still Shrimp. Shrimp on the rec side is still going to be a very dominant force in a game. And I like that he's played this so much, he can adapt his build based on the flow of the early game.
Yeah. Good stuff so far. 3,000 gold lead here for Apex as a result. 3 turrets to 1. First dragon was theirs as well. Next one spawns in a couple of minutes now. And TDK, I want to see how well they can defend themselves. Mid lane outer is the only outer turret left for Apex to knock down. And staying with your AD carry and support near mid, having them pivot from that point of the map is generally the way to play League of Legends.
I'm so surprised that we aren't even seeing things out of Kez like a flash cocoon to try and get a flash in return.
Yeah.
Because those are the type of plays that a flash from a jungler in exchange for a flash from a laner is worth. It's always worth, in my opinion. And now that Ty is on a split push job, he does have his Duskblade. I want to see what he's able to do here.
Okay.
Police is walking into him. Oh my god.
Police is super dead.
But he doesn't even have to use anything. He's going to pop.
What? Why even?
No, he doesn't go ultimate.
Yeah. I'm just surprised he even pressed the button.
He's like, just in case, because heal went off.
Yeah, no, that guy was obviously dead.
Oh, there it is.
Duskblade has claimed its first victim of the North American Challenger Series.
Pocket Zed.
It wasn't even close.
Duskblade is Zed in a pocket.
Yep. 2-minute cooldown. It'll be back up in 96 seconds-ish. Oddly specific number to say ish afterwards, but
around 90 seconds.
Around 96 seconds.
Here's the great part, is he still has ultimate.
And he's going to do some decent damage to Shrimp here. He's got to be a little bit careful because Shrimp is going to run away, pop the Hex Drinker, and say, that's cute and everything, but I have a clock armor.
Oh my god.
And Chilling's fight is on. The flash knockup and Ty bit off way more than he could chew. Shrimp apparently does not sit well with Thai food. Oh, and he hits him with the hook, but Seraph is out already.
Oh. Well played, well played. But Shrimp adapting his build, getting the warrior, he wouldn't have been able to do that if he hadn't. So he realized, I have these kills, I need to become a split push threat to actually deal with Zed early on, because Rek'Sai has the tunnel. You're going to be able to actually collapse and meet that split push, so you can make a 4-1 happen. Your Corki can clear waves, your Corki Lucian can siege, your Braum protects them, Chris is looking for picks, possibly 1-3-1. But if now that Shrimp has dominance over Ty, that is so scary for TDK, because APX can now control the entire map.
And they're probably going to keep doing that. They're so good when they're ahead, generally speaking. This team is all about closing things out for early game leads. They've got another early game lead, and they can continue to dominate, I assume, here.
There's an interesting cocoon from Kez.
I didn't see it.
They hit nobody.
I don't see bad skill shots.
Damn, are you blind when you play?
Yeah. That's why I play AD carries. I A-click. That's why I'm terrible at Jhin.
You're a pretty good Corki, though, aren't you?
Yeah. Corki's easy. You get so many shots, you're going to hit one of them, right? Like
so many chances. I mean, for Jhin, 4 chances is enough for me to land 1, so.
Yeah, but 1 is not good enough to do well on Jhin.
That's why I can't do well on Xerath, because I only get 3.
Yeah, exactly. You need that 4th one.
Yeah.
Yep. I am also bad at Xerath.
I'm terrible at Xerath.
It's funny, when I play against Xerath or Jhin, I like feel so good when I dodge their ultimate. Like, man, I outplayed this guy so hard.
Yeah.
And I play as them, and I'm like, God, this is so hard to hit.
I'm outplaying myself. Oh, Shrimp.
Ooh. No,
just zoning.
Shield. Clears it again. Really nice timing, actually, for the Q to come in right as a special shield drops, so he gets some of the wave clear in. And he's really just unopposed, knocking these minions down.
These are some good timers, though, from Apex. Now, they're going to get this Scuttle Crab. They're going to go after this dragon that just spawned. They get to push out the minion wave bottom. Shrimp gets some dominance here. And Ty is still on the back foot, a little bit scared here before he gets more armor penetration.
Well, tank fight in the top lane.
That's actually pretty much the best time for Seraph to execute his combo, change back, and then get some fadeaway auto attacks as Gnar. Up against Nautilus, you really don't want to be hitting him in your melee form.
Yeah. But Chris just does not seem to care. He's okay down a little bit of CS, but whatever, holding up the top lane just fine.
A double armor item against Black Cleaver, so the amount of damage you deal is definitely more substantial.
Definitely true, and he's just going to chill. The team has gotten Dragon number 2 already. Apex slowing down a little bit in the mid game here.
Yep, Kez just going to walk straight through. Oh, he killed the spider.
Yep, 5 gold, padding the CS stats.
Looking for Rift Herald. Chris a little bit out of position. It's strange. Why isn't Kez running straight top?
He is running up there now. Chris heavily wins the trade over Seraph. That's why he doesn't want to fight this, because that's not a battle you can win. Chris right now sitting on only a 400 gold lead over Seraph. The kill and assist, of course, helps, but Seraph getting a bunch of CS makes that pretty nice. Yeah,
Kez ran into a snag on the way. I don't know if he actually killed the Scuttle Crab or cleared out a ward, but I think that was...
I think he realized that he was going to win the fight because Seraph was at half health in mini-Gnar by the time he would have gotten there, and he's like, yeah, this ain't happening.
But the Elise is magic damage, right? So I don't know if he...
Yeah, he can do some meaningful damage, Chris. You're right about that. But Apex, regardless... Oh! At least a little bit too far. Either way, they're dominating the map. Rift Herald's going to be theirs.
Yeah, Shrimp is tanky. Special's tanky as well.
What? Nice. Chris gets with the auto attack. Kez couldn't Q in time.
TDK definitely on the back foot in this game already. Yeah. Last game, it took them a very long time, but they were never actually pushing their advantage. So TDK is yet to be in a position against APX in both games where they're exerting their will on the map.
Yeah, TDK is a little bit too passive here, unable to make things happen in the early game. A lot of that was the great early pressure by Shrimp, but now, right, 20 minutes in, 3,000 gold lead, that is workable. That is a totally workable situation. You know that Ty can one-shot any of the marksmen on the enemy team, right? He can wave clear and split push forever, but does not seem to be getting any headway across the map here. Shrimp is, in fact, being donated to split push farm. He is, you can see, 134 CS already. That's going to keep growing. Sunfire Cape on a jungler is basically never seen. And he's like, no, I really want to crush minion waves, of course.
Yeah.
6.3, Sunfire does 50% bonus damage to minions now. So he like really crushes minion waves, and he's gonna keep farming.
He's all about that split push life, getting all this CS. I think that the way that Shrimp thinks is, will this item help me get farm? Then I want it. Oh, whoa!
Ulti in onto Xpecial, who pops ult himself, and look at the damage! He times it right, does 1,000,000 damage to Ty, he's gotta run away. And he will do so. Meanwhile, top lane fight, Kez and Sarah battling with Chris right here, who does not have anywhere to go. Flashes, still tanks the Q. Finally, Kez does get in onto the armor stacking Nautilus, takes him down, but it's still tier 2 turret in the bot lane, knocked down by Apex, traded for... Oh wow, and mid lane outer went down as well. Apex actually were able to split push and get even more for this one. Top lane outer in 1 kill, but answered by so much more from Apex.
Now, the siege is better, though, from Apex's side as well. The Trinity Force, Corki, able to clear out these waves and continue to split push. And once again, Apex has come out on top despite losing Chris.
This is what happens when you draft champions that can actually start fights. TDK have Cocoon and Meganar. Last game, it was just Alistair and maybe a Quinn flank. Apex have Shrimp through the backline. Braum Flash engage. Chris has engage tools, right? And then you have follow-up damage. Unsurprisingly, Apex are way more able to be proactive and do stuff on the map.
I think a lot of this was the Rek'Sai early game allowing him to be proactive. Chris hasn't had too much to deal with these fights. He did have that TP play that was good.
Yeah.
But Ty, I think, handed the engage over in that one for sure.
Yeah, he did.
That was you called it as well. You can always, if you're a good Braum, stop the Zed immediately after. You know he's going to spawn on the opposite side.
They nearly killed him too. I believe they just barely missed the Braum passive stun. He ulted and then just couldn't get enough autos down in time. Culling, of course, does not count for that. Well, control over the Baron pit already, 22.5 minutes in. Apex looking very solid here. 1 minute 30 until Dragon 3 comes up.
Shrimp's a monster. This is the Shrimp that we were used to seeing in Challenger.
Yeah.
When we saw him in LCS, like I said, he seemed rather weak, but now you just give him farm. You give him farm. He almost has the same farm as the AD carry.
Yeah, no.
He's the highest level in the game.
I mean, it's coming from Police's like farm budget, you know, like
it's coming out of his paycheck.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the taxes got sort of shifted around. You know, police budget got cut in favor of seafood, and you know, a lot of fed shrimp here.
Man, that's vicious. Nope. Another turret goes down though. So Apex are actually using their power spikes appropriately when they have multiple AD carries. And we're seeing it and how it's supposed to work here. Shrimp is probably going to get out just fine. He has his tunnel. He's a monster. He's got Dead Man's Plate now on top of both his other items. So
Sunfire, Dead Man's Warrior.
Check out his gold here.
Sunfire does do bonus damage to monsters as well, by the way, so he clears... yes or no, does Shrimp have the highest gold in the game?
Yes.
Of course he does.
Yes, he does.
I mean, he's also 3-0-1, so it's obvious, but like, yeah. Shrimp loves to farm. Well, this is the game where he's allowed to.
I don't know if it's obvious because he's almost 100 CS below Corki.
Yeah.
So you'd be like, maybe Keen? No, 500 gold up over Keen.
Yeah.
He's taking jungle camps. They're worth a lot, so they don't pad his numbers as high.
And 1,000 gold of kills obviously helps this as well.
Yes. Pretty insane, though.
Yeah, definitely insane. Dragon number 3 easily picked up here. Keen is wearing the package, and he will have it for another 30-ish seconds, a bit less than that, but it means that they have the playmaking tools available. Special caught up by a stun, and look how little Kez wants to actually fight him. It's like, yeah, you know what? I did 300 damage, but you're right. You can kill my ward after all. Keen clearing the mid wave first, package ending very, very soon. No counter jungle on the red buff, they had to take Dragon instead. Honestly, worth it.
Yeah. Man, we were talking about how TDK, they need to pull back on their aggression because they were chasing kills too much. Well, this series has been them basically paralyzed.
Yeah.
We've seen only Ty really go overextend for kills ever in this entire series from TDK. And they haven't been as proactive. It's something that we would have never criticized TDK for being in the past weeks.
Yeah, true. And it looks like them trying to fix those mistakes have pushed them too far in the other direction here. Drafts have some parts to do with it, but also just them really just not taking the initiative nearly enough. As Keen grabs another blue buff here, 0-0-0, but honestly having a lot to do in this game. He's got a ton of farm, 270 at 25.5 minutes. He's knocked down mid, tier 1 and tier 2 turrets. Not just by himself, but he's certainly been a large part of that.
Yep.
And you can just see, let's look at just a snapshot of where all the dots are on the map. These minion waves are very, very pushed towards TDK's side of the map. There's the ulti. Nice dodge from Ty, but he's got to be careful. Goes down right away, had nowhere to go. Caught out, split pushing in the top lane.
And immediately they're going to capitalize on this, push the minion wave up. Police goes back to catch it. Maybe get some damage onto this turret, onto the inhibitor turret. That calls Seraph back as well. He has to help reinforce his position. And meanwhile, Keen sieging mid, clearing these minion waves as fast as possible.
And here comes the next attempt for the fight. Kez slowed down. Keen around to the back wings. Oh, can't get any of the hard CC to land right here, but TDK now stuck inside their base. 20 seconds on the next spawn for Zed here. Into the mid lane. Inhibitor turret under fire. Nice poke out of OQ as well. Big wave in the bot lane. Shrimp can take that and just tunnel right back into the team when he needs to. But there is farm and Shrimp wants it. I think he will easily eclipse both Chris and Police in CS numbers by the end of this game.
He's getting a lot of gold, that's for sure.
Yep. Typical Shrimp gameplay. I'm honestly a little bit surprised he's not tried to play Master Yi. He feels like the exact kind of player to be a Master Yi jungle player.
When he ganks a little bit early, and then he disappears for the entire game.
Yeah.
Sometimes the enemy team will actually be up 5,000 gold, and then when he comes out of the jungle, he just saves the day. He took everybody's farm, too.
Yeah.
Get out of my lane. You don't need this. I'm going to carry harder than you. Steal it all.
He will. Well, mid lane cleared away. Police puts the culling down. The traps are up. TDK are trying to play a little bit aggressively here, but they're down over 7,000 gold, so the way in is... Yeah, Chris actually doesn't even feel those damages.
Wow.
Literally didn't lose health at the end of it all.
Yeah. Oh!
Good dodge with the cocoon by Keen. Akash puts the shield up, but they did take some poke from this Caitlyn. They just might not matter right here. Apex.
Shrimp, though, level 16, highest level in the game again. And all he has to do is build armor, right? We talked about this before. It's a full physical damage composition minus Elise and I guess Nars W, but that's it. So Apex now split push. They're junglers on the other side of the map. You're doing Baron without your smite here. Shrimp's just going to ulti in, and now he's going to
back
arrive.
of the jungle can tunnel right over the pit, gets some poke into Bishu, then walks right into the pit. Elise going to come by for the smite fight. Who's going to get it? And it goes to the blue team. Nice smite, good take. Shrimp gets the Baron and the kill right here. 6-2 Baron buff on all 5 members. 40 seconds of the respawn for Kez.
Yeah, Chris put pressure onto Kez with the ultimate from Nautilus. He was forced to repel, and then he had to make the decision, I have to repel now in order to flash out, or I come down from the repel to flash in a second later. But he chose to go in, missed the smite, smited early, and now the Baron buff on Apex with the siege in a 4v5.
Yep.
They're going to take this turret.
The
and
tanks eat the traps. Inhibitor turret goes down. 15 seconds still to go on Kez's respawn. That will mean the inhibitor. No contest for TDK. They could not win this fight if they wanted to. 4v5 and down a Baron buff and a bunch of gold. So 10,000 gold lead. Middle inhibitor dead before 30 minutes. Apex through the jungle. Buy up, reset, and push another wave.
Yeah, top lane, Keen. He's going to pick up a gigantic wave for himself, and Apex now have constant pressure in the mid. And they have third dragon, too. It's something that's been gone a little bit overlooked because it's just happening on the side. Ty, though, I don't think they can do too much damage to Shrimp. Oh,
Duskblade got used after doing 50 damage to Shrimp, so that did nothing. Caitlyn ulti meant nothing as well. No % armor pen items for either of those big carry forces. Ty has still been unable to split push successfully. Apex have controlled the map very well to not allow that to ever happen.
They just saw Bishu run to the side. Oh. But can you kill him?
No. Shrimp will walk into 3 people and TDK will run away. That is the level of farm Shrimp has right now. Only 30 gold above Keen now, so Keen is catching up. And now with him killing that pink ward, that lead has shrunk.
Oh man, when's Challenger over? I gotta go play a Rek'Sai game right now. I don't know why, I just really want to go play a game.
Every time you watch Shrimp, you're just like, I wish I could do that.
Yeah, I'll just have the YouTube link to this this VOD, and then every time somebody's like, stop tilling my farm, it's control paste.
Nice.
Control V.
I don't think you can actually
go
control
watch
V
this.
from inside the game client.
I think you can, can't you?
You can? Maybe I'm wrong.
Because people do flash timers all the time that way, right?
Oh yeah, you're right. You can yeah, shift home, control C, control V.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you can't paste from outside the client.
Maybe.
I forget.
Inside, yes. So
Yeah.
I'll just type it out by hand. Whatever.
Just learn the like 15 character URL.
Yeah. Boom.
All right.
Still
well,
Baron buff?
30 seconds left in Baron buff. This is the last wave to use the buff, and they're going to look for bot lane inhibitor turret right here. Keen puts the poke down, Especial holding in the front line. Seraph knocks the team into the battle. Now, can they do enough damage? Where's Ty go? Yes, Kez got a kill onto the Braum, flashing into the back line. OQ gets a package to the face. He's got to run away, but Ty's going to blow up Keen. This ain't too bad, honestly, for TDK, but Apex, look how big the front line is. He's able to run right through. They knock down Seraph. That is 3 kills picked up for 2. They went for a 3v3 battle inside the base and won it, and that means the inhibitor turret will go down. The inhibitor itself will follow, and TDK will have to pick up the scraps. 2v3 with Superman is inside the base. Apex undaunted. They want this fight right now. Maybe they'll get it.
And Apex, they don't care about these turrets too much. They lost some of their damage dealers, but they were able to just continue to walk forward. It was the dive, Keen trying to make a play happen. Shrimp.
I mean, OQ doesn't do any damage.
He wants his top turret.
Wait around for a while, and he will walk up to this top lane turret. Kill the wave. There is a drop portal actually set up in the top lane, so that has been pushing for a bit. I believe that's probably Chris's.
Yeah, it's Chris's.
And that will be the easy pickup on this dragon as well. Chris on top of Pinkport does not care. Police will come by soon and they'll kill that. 13,000 gold up. Dragon 4. Gonna be grabbed pretty easily.
Special steps on the trap, taking a lot of damage. Rust into the team, and then Kez follows after the Janna ulti from Bishu. And they get spread out. You think it's a fight that's going to be disengaged. Keen jumps for the backline. Shrimp ends up killing Kez. And now it's basically the ideal frontline for a Lucian. You have 2 members that are big, beefy tanks, and Lucian is pretty much attack range right behind them.
That's the good thing about triple tank comps with double marksman is you have the disruption to force the fight to happen, to peel for your backline if need be. And you saw Special just took all the damage, which as one of the tanks is fine. That's partially his job. It worked out pretty cleanly.
Sometimes dying in League of Legends is required. And
Yeah.
I think that's something that we didn't see last game. Last game, you have the ability as TDK to actually start a fight and then have you guys even trade 3 for 4, right?
Yeah.
And if you do that enough times, you actually mount enough of an advantage.
Right.
But if you do nothing, then you just get outscaled. And Apex are okay with just jumping in and fighting over and over because they know they have this advantage. So
Yep. Building an incremental lead is a good way to use an advantage and just grow it further. Apex are looking at their 3rd and final inhibitor kill. There is a array of traps in front, but it doesn't really seem to matter. As Drop Portal replaced and put right in front of the side of the base, and it will start doing some damage. Chris coming around the side, gets around the traps. Police doing some decent damage to the minion wave as well. And this inhibitor slowly losing more and more health. Just a few hits from dead. No one really defending the Seraph. Now Meganar will create the need to be a bit defensive.
they're just going to take this.
There it goes.
All 3 inhibs down, super minions, double super minions. There's so many in the base. These turrets are pretty much going to get
Nexus turret number 1 is gone. There's only 1 turret left inside the base. They've got to re-kill the mid inhibitor. That won't take much time at all, and Apex can continue to push forward. Here comes the knockdown into the base. How much can they kill here? It's probably on this wave. In this sort of fight that they win the game right here. Baron's in a minute, but I don't think they need to wait for that one.
Yep, Chris can tank this turret if he wants to. No problem.
Puts the ult on OQ, who actually gets Ty hit up as well. There's the turret kill right now. A 5v5, no turrets left in the base. Bishu buys a bit of time, but the Naka comes through, hitting almost everybody thanks to Braum. Good job, Special. First kill comes through. Ty feeds like a plate of Pad Mao. I said that one wrong, but it's okay because it's going to be the game. It's going to be everyone dying. There's the domination from Shrimp. 6-0 and 5 on the Rek'Sai. He got first blood. He's been a part of every single kill in the game, and that is a 2-0 for Apex. Pad Ki Mao is what Ty turns into, and that's a 2-0.
Oh my god. Yeah, 2-0 there for Apex. They secure their playoff spot, so they're at least going to be in playoffs. We don't know what position just yet or who they'll be facing. Of course, we have another week afterwards, but they do secure their spot. There's no way anybody can reach them now, and they definitely earned it. They definitely earned it. They look like a very dominant squad. I think that they are adapting very well too. Chris is not somebody I would typically think of playing a top lane tank.
A full passive tank where you let yourself get down 15 CS in lane and then just engage team fights well. Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah. Chris has shown new styles. The same old Shrimp showed up in the second game, which is kind of fun to see.
My favorite.
Yeah, I know.
Highest
You're a big
gold
fan.
in the game, 100% kill participation, and they knew, despite having bad matchups in the lanes at the beginning, that he's just going to have more jungle pressure early than Kez, and he showed it. I think he got 3 very early kills, and they got a 3-0 start, and were able to force down objectives after that, and then fast push that top lane turret to tier 2, and then they were just ahead in turrets, and they macroed from there.
So, well-played game by Apex, 2-0 for them. They are still in first place. They control their destiny, of course. They're in playoffs. They can remain in first by just winning another match. That's probably not too hard for them, actually. So props to them. But now joining us to talk about that win via Skype is Apex's top laner, Chris. Chris, welcome to the show, man. And congrats on the 2-0.
Hey, man. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I didn't... 2-0 actually feels pretty good.
Yeah, so talk to me about you playing Nautilus twice in a row here. What's so good about him? Why do you like him?
So we knew that they were gonna try to pick like a carry top to like try to kill me over and over with the Elise or just any kind of like bruiser top. So we decided that Nautilus would be a good pick because he's really hard to kill.
It's interesting because I feel like your style for so long has been, I'm going to crush my lane. You've been a super dominant top laner and challenger for so long. And it's nice to see you on a team that you can just be a tank and let everyone else do the carry. How do you feel about sort of Apex as a team and your teammates overall?
Yeah, it definitely feels it's really different because in the old Challenger series, I was playing carries a lot because I feel like I could like dominate all the top laners. But I feel like right now there's some really good top laners. So having to play tanks and knowing that my team can carry me through, it feels pretty good.
Awesome. And I want to ask you, Chris, because we keep seeing you in Challenger and we keep seeing you come back. What's the drive? Why do you keep coming back? Like, why do you want LCS so badly over and over again?
Well, it's always been in and out for me, so I'm really just trying to do well. You know, maybe eventually be good enough to go to Worlds, but I'll try to just keep making it in and keep improving.
And of course you've been consistently, a very, very strong player. And speaking of improving and the goal being Worlds, of course, you guys look like the best team in Challenger. How realistic is that sort of top level LCS spot in the summer split?
I feel like it's not a free ride. Like, I feel like it was easier last time than this time, but it's really nice to have a good team to go into it. Hopefully, if we make LCS, we can do really good in that.
So you're also in a unique position where you're playing with 2 different junglers. We've seen you play alongside Eve, and we've seen you play alongside Shrimp. What's the difference for you as a top laner when you play with each of them?
They're both really good. I feel like Shrimp's better at camping top lane or ganking for top lane, and Eve is better for ganking bot lane. So we use them both in scrims, and they're both really good. So it's kind of nice to have like 2 really good junglers to switch back and forth, kind of like the easy Hoon Faker type.
Well, that's solid. Yeah, thank you very much, Chris, and of course, congrats on the 2-0, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break. But when we come back, it's going to be Seda taking over for me, Zyrene Steg, and they're going to dive into our second series, which is Team Liquid Academy versus Enemy. The Challenger Series returns in just 3.5. So we'll see you soon. Here comes the play in, jumps in, lets the root onto Bishu, who doesn't flash in time, goes down. Seraph knocks the team into the battle. Now, can they do enough damage? Where's Tygo? Yes, Kez got a kill onto the Braum, flashing into the back line. OQ gets a package to the face. He's got to run away, but Ty's going to blow up Keen. First kill comes through. Ty feeds like a plate of pad bow. I said that one wrong, but it's okay because it's going to be the game. It's going to be everyone dying.